Well, it finally happened. After waiting almost 2 years and watching hundreds of videos in mind-melting anticipation, I finally got to live one of my biggest dreams, meeting Levi from a metalhead's perspective. Oh, and BAND-MAID was there too. October 12th, 2022, BAND-MAID pulled up to Seattle's Neptune Theater in their tour bus and began setting up for their first American one-man show in 3 years and 11 days. Fans had been lining up since early that morning to await the iconic event. Also, just a quick reminder, this is my new channel where I post non-reaction videos, so if you do enjoy my videos, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more. Thanks to a very kind and generous gift from a fellow BAND-MAID fan, I was able to stroll up at 5:30 p.m. with my VIP ticket, having done basically nothing to earn it. Seriously, Richard, thank you so much for the gift. We are very grateful. When we arrived, we made our way down some creepy stairs into a basement full of records. And that's when we met David and Steve, who had seen us walk by and came over to say hi. They were both kind enough to let me interview them.
How did you first discover BAND-MAID?
Through me. So I first discovered BAND-MAID. I kind of went down the rabbit hole I was going to tell you about. Polycycles was a band that I started listening to like 10 years ago.
First Japanese band.
Yeah, that like 10 years ago or longer was when I was at New Seasons. And so that's kind of where I started my road down the Japanese bands and some South Korean metal bands and stuff like that. And and then we were arguing about BAND-MAID or baby metal, and that's when I got him into BAND-MAID.
Nice. All right, what was my next question?
You can introduce your guests if you want.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Steve Norris from Portland, Oregon.
I'm Dave Tollefson from Portland, Oregon.
My other question was, how far did you travel to see BAND-MAID?
Well, from Portland.
From Portland, like 4 hours, 3.5 hours.
Nice. You were talking about someone who traveled from Illinois?
Yes. And one fellow from Japan.
Nice.
That guy came from Vancouver that we were staying next to out there too.
That's really awesome that they can get people to travel like that. One final question. Is there a song that you really want to hear them play tonight?
Blooming.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
I love Warning. It was the first one I heard, and I know they're going to play it probably early in the set, but I like...
Great choices.
And if they play About Us, which I think they're going to... I already warned him that I'm going to take videos of him crying tonight. I'm going to be crying very hard.
I think there will be a lot of people. Well, they played it at the Eggman show, the last full concert they did, so I'm hoping.
Now, I planned on doing this with many more people, but I was way too nervous. Thankfully, I could just blame it on the street noise. Anyway, once we were in line, we met some really wonderful people. Right in front of us was a father with his young daughter who's a huge BAND-MAID fan, sporting a Psyche shirt. I mean, that is one heck of a way to raise your kid. Miku actually pointed her out during the show, and they made an appearance on the BAND-MAID Discord as well. We also got to stand in line next to 808K from Discord, who was so sweet and kind, and we got to meet Robert, who was handing out custom Maniac pins, as well as Jim Morrison, aka Steve, who had made hand-cut BAND-MAID confetti. I just want to say thank you to everyone who came up and said hi to us while we were there. It was amazing to hear from so many people that they appreciate what we do and look forward to Gaijin Guys on Sundays. It really gave me a new gratitude for each and every view on our videos, because each one's a real person taking time out of their busy lives to spend some time with us, so thank you all so much for that. And if you're one of the people who said hi at the show, please comment and remind me so I can remember your username. I would really appreciate it. All that to say, it's really amazing that a band from Japan has built such a cool and passionate community in America from the other side of the world. People who are willing to make a personal investment of time and money to create things to promote a band, and travel across the country to do it. While in line, we were close to the utility entrance door where the band entered the building, and we could hear the sound checks happening. Well, the sound checks went on for quite a while, 20 minutes beyond when VIP was actually scheduled to enter. And yes, this was an inconvenience, but I assume they had a good reason. I would guess it's because they were renting some equipment, and this was their first one-man show on this particular trip. You know, each and every space needs to be dialed in for the mix because every environment is different, but especially going from an outdoor space at Aftershock to a small indoor venue is a huge contrast in setup. But eventually our on-site host came by and handed out our VIP merch bags with a signed postcard, a BAND-MAID logo beanie, and a lanyard so we could pretend we were important. Side note, if you got your tickets through a ticket transfer, you will need the photo ID of whoever originally purchased the tickets. The personal details can be redacted as long as the name is clear, but you just need like a photo on your cell phone or something. When finally we were ushered in and up the stairs to the merch booth and drink stand, Of course, with my irresponsible water intake, I had to pee first, but I got to meet someone in the bathroom who really appreciated my influencer breakdown, so thank you for that, and don't worry, he waited till I was washing my hands to say hi. I got a hat, Rosie got a shirt, and then we walked down to the main room and got a really decent spot by Konami, right behind Robert, who had given us the pins earlier, and his daughter. Unfortunately, Robert had to step out for some air, and he let us have his spots. I felt terrible because he had been waiting in line since 9 a.m., and he truly earned those spots. And I was already there with VIP tickets that were gifted to me, so I was feeling like a spoiled brat. But Robert told me later that he was glad to help us get that amazing spot. So thank you, Robert. We really appreciated that. And for my next 2 shows, I will gladly enjoy the non-VIP experience and leave room for others by the stage. And we arrived at our spots around 7, and the show was set to start at 8. So when that rolled around, we were thoroughly hyped up with eager anticipation, but it came and went and the show didn't start. I realized in hindsight that extra long sound check probably set everything behind schedule. I can't imagine how long it takes them to get ready in their performance attire, but knowing them, I'm sure that they started as soon as they possibly could. We all know that they value their fans. But they finally came out, and I recorded the whole show intro, which I uploaded earlier this week. Each member came out to the stage in their own time, starting with Misa, then Konami, Miku, Akane, and finally Saiki. But when that orchestral intro for Sense started, they all stood still, regally, waiting for their cue, and it just felt so surreal and iconic considering what a momentous occasion this show was as the first overseas show following the pandemic, and knowing how much they were affected over that time, leading them to craft the music video of Unleash around conquering that dark cloud that had prevented them from playing a show here since October of 2019. But the music kicked in, I went into a full-on dream state mode. I mean, we were right in front of Konami. She had this little stage wing catwalk, and when she went there, I could have reached out and touched her. She was so close. My heart was just buzzing the whole time because it was so surreal. But I was surprised who really stole my heart during the show. She just has so much charisma and stage presence and swagger. I'm talking about Saiki. She has so much confidence on the stage, no insecurities, and she has very little concern with what people think of her. I mean, she literally started flinging her sweat into the audience because, you know, she just does whatever the heck she wants. And that, of course, triggered Konami into full-on crush mode, which I did capture on video. But Saiki was very kind and gave her a hug right away. And I love how Miku entertains Konami's request and tells people to take pictures in her own pigeon way. And seeing this happen in person just melted my heart, and I know a lot of it is just a fun act because they're putting on a show for us, but even actors develop their characters from within, so it feels like a genuine laid-back interaction between the band and the audience, which they do so much during their shows, really making it feel like we're hanging out with them as friends. Now at one point, Miku had some technical difficulties where her paddleboard wasn't working, and without missing a beat, Akane ran to the front of the stage and literally shotgunned a banana, keeping us entertained while the stage techs sorted out the issue. I just thought it was so cool how she took that initiative and filled that gap. Imagine time was surreal. I recorded most of the Imagine time because I knew it would be special, so that's in my footage upload, but that flowed right into Sayanaki Dori, which I was so excited to hear live. Miku nailed the vocals beautifully, everyone in the band, every song, everything was just spot on. There were just a couple little things about the show that weren't ideal. One was that it felt way too short. I mean, they played 18 songs, which is a lot, but I really wanted to hear Manners and Blooming and About Us, but sadly they didn't play those in Seattle. Maybe Boston or Chicago, hopefully. It looks like they played Blooming in San Francisco, but one song they didn't play there that we got was Thrill, which was really awesome and surreal, especially after learning the history and importance of that song for their careers and making my own cover of it, which forced me to know it inside and out. It was just amazing to see them play it live. Konami doesn't even have to think about that riff anymore. She just plays it. It's so second nature for her. Another one of the drawbacks was the mix, but it was just because of where we were standing standing, we were right in front of Konami's amp, so the guitar was really loud to us, and I couldn't really hear Akane's drums very well. I actually heard the drums more from the acoustic set than I did through the PA, so I'm guessing it was just the sound waves of the amp kind of distorting and pushing away the sound waves from the actual PA system with the mix. The drummer Tony said that the drums sounded great from the back, so I'm looking forward to hearing that perspective at one of my other shows. I also didn't really get to see Misa at all because she was so far away on the other side of the stage and never crossed over to our side of the stage, but I'm hoping in Boston to get somewhat near Misa and Miku. I'd love to just watch Misa's fingers the entire time, which is basically what I did with Konami at this show, you know, those moments when I wasn't completely enamored with Rosie. After Domination, they walked off the stage, and I just assumed there would be an encore, but nobody was chanting for one more song. The house lights actually came on literally right after they walked off stage, so that kind of confused us, and I think it threw people off from doing the encore chant. But we stood by the stage until the security guy told us to leave, so, you know, we left before I was ready to say goodbye. But after the show, even more people came up to say hi. I got a photo with the first person that talked to us after the show, so if that was you, please comment and let me know who you are and send me that photo. And again, anyone who did say hi, please comment. Don't just not comment because you think I won't remember you. I will if you just remind me, and I only say that because it's something I would do, just assume that they wouldn't remember me. But please let me know. Now, after that, we went to Earl's Bar and hung out with people. I got to talk to Dave again from earlier in the video, who offered so many kind words of encouragement to keep doing what we do. So thank you again, Dave. And also, a couple different people bought us drinks at Earl's, so thank you so much for that. I wish I could remember everyone's name, but you know how my memory is. So again, please remind me in the comments so I can remember your YouTube name and associate it with meeting you in real life. Arigato, BAND-MAID, for making this all happen, and thank you for watching. Check out my other BAND-MAID videos here and my footage from the show here.